Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post you will be the first to get it. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to make us question reality. Let's just start.
Hey, shut the fuck up and listen while Unc speaking so I can learn you something. Listen, when you're dating women, having a roster is completely pointless. Listen, bro, always go for quality over quantity. I'm gonna tell you the perfect example, right? And this is a personal situation that I went through. Around my birthday last year, when I turned 26, I got into a real bad car accident. I fractured 4 ribs. I could not laugh, sneeze, or even roll out the bed without being in some type of form of pain, right? Now, mind you, around that time, I had a roster full of women. I was doing shit for them, taking them out on trips, buying them whatever they want, doing for their kids. Whatever they named it, I had it for them because I fucked with them. That's just the type of nigga I am. Boom. Okay, cool. Do you know that not one of those bitches offered any type of services to help me during my recovery? Not an Advil, not a back massage, or even just to pull up and show a nigga some company. But guess who did, gang? An ex that I talked to almost 5 years ago hit me up at the time, trying to make sure that I was straight. I thought this bitch hated my guts. And I'm over here chasing quantity when I had a quality woman. Now, I'm not saying this message for you to go back and get with an ex and nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, start to really assess the women that you have in your life, and would they be around if things go sour? Because everybody is shine with you on a sunny day, but who gonna hold that umbrella? Who gonna get soaked with you on the rainy, stormy days? You know what I'm saying?
Like that. Like, this is real.
And if you can't really decipher if they'll be around when it's rainy or sunny, then they don't need to be around at all. And I'm saying that to say this, bro. Always look for quality over quantity. If you got one good one, that's better than 1,000 bad ones. I'm trying to tell you.
I went out tonight, and everyone was talking to me about their relationships all night, and I was listening. What I kept hearing, and I was just talking to my Uber driver about this, what I keep hearing is people are dating. They're 1 month in, 3 months in, 6 months in, and they're saying, I love you. No. I said to everyone tonight, I said, you cannot say I love you that early on. If you say I love you, I understand you're obsessed with each other. That's obsession. That is not love. You can't know if you love someone after 1 month. That's just the truth. And so I'm talking to my Uber driver about this tonight. I'm like, everyone's telling me that they're telling their partner, I love you, in the first month of knowing them. I said, that's a red flag to me. He goes, I'll tell you something. Red flag. He starts telling, I said, are you married? He goes, yeah. He starts telling me about his wife. He said, I have my wife. He said, I didn't say I love you to her for 10 years. 10 years. He said, 10 years, that's insane. And he said, you know what? She still didn't say I love you to me after that. She waited 20 years to say I love you. Now, listen, I think that's a little dramatic.
Yeah, right?
But as with all good things in life, we've got to find somewhere in the middle.
I finally finished Men Who Hate Women by Laura Bates a few days ago, and it confirmed all of my horrible and terrifying assumptions that I had about this book. It took me over 2 months to finish this book, which is wildly out of character for me because the content is so heavy, and I read a lot of really heavy things. So do not take this lightly when I say check the trigger warnings, and if this is something you don't think you can handle, don't read it. It basically talks about how and why we ignore extreme misogyny, especially online, because the online space is something that's relatively new in our history. We don't have any laws or policy in place to protect women specifically online. And therefore, a lot of online spaces like 4chan, Twitter, all these different kinds of forums, bodybuilding networks, all kinds of things have become a breeding ground for incels and trolls. And these men, especially young men, are basically being bred and recruited to become incels while they don't even really realize why or how that's happening. She talks about how these young men and boys are mentally not okay and are looking for community and are looking for somewhere to share their thoughts and feelings, and they a lot of times end up online in some sort of forum. And they have all of these incels telling them the reason why you feel the way you do is the feminist movement. She talks about how she'll go into schools to talk about feminism, and there will be loads of young men saying the same exact argument that they've heard online, basically word for word, and how all of these young men are being groomed into truly hating women, and how that hatred therefore impacts the actual lives of everyday women, especially politicians, especially people who are working in the feminist movement. Again, this book is very heavy. It's not something to read on your day off on the beach. This is something you sit down and you study, because it's, number one, so important. Number two, a serious epidemic that's happening. And I will say there is really, really vulgar language in here that Laura Bates found herself. It really is tough to read, and it really is so sad. It's so sad. If you're a man and you're watching this, thank you for watching to the end of the video. And also, I highly encourage you specifically to read this book, because there's no way we can tackle extreme misogyny simply as women, because after you read this book, something you'll come to know is that they just don't take us seriously.
Here are 3 things I wish I would have known sooner in the dating world. Attraction does not always mean interest. Let me explain. I can be attracted to the muscles I get at the gym, but that don't mean I'm interested in going to the gym. See what I did with that? Interested in going to the gym. Number 2, a person can have interest with you, but have no intention for you. I used to hate this one. That looks like text here and there, but grounding nowhere. That looks like, what are we 3 months later? That looks like, Jesus, I need to stop playing. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap this up because I get the point. The last one is intention does not mean commitment. And what I mean by that is someone can move intentionally the entire time, but when you get to an equal sign that really matter, they have memory loss. It becomes a gaslit fire. That's why I feel like the Bible talks about guarding your heart with all diligence. You know, not locking it away, but diligent. And what I've learned on the other side is attraction, interest, intention, commitment will be natural with the right person.
True, yeah.
Not forced.
Yes.
In your head, scream your name as loud as you can. In your head. You see how you have control over your inner voice?
Literally.
Oh! Now tell her to whisper.
That's sick.
Right? So if you have control over your inner voice, you can control your thoughts.
You can.
You just have to recognize when it's happening and like alter it. That critic be yapping all day, and I'm gonna tell you something right now.
It's
if
too
a friend
much.
talked to you the way your little narrator in your brain
Y'all
talked to
wouldn't be
you,
friends.
you would have cut them off a long time ago.
True.
And some of that inner critic is saying, don't get divorced because it's wrong. Some of that inner critic is saying, don't date again because how could you date again? You're a mom.
Yeah.
How could you? It's that inner critic is not real.
Yeah, it's
though
so
she
fake.
doesn't exist, right? And you
For
can shut her
sure.
up whenever you want to.
Energetic frequency is highly dependent on the relationship that you have with the voice inside of your head. Let me give 4 examples and you can see which one you resonate with the most. Example 1. If you believe that you are the voice inside of your head, you will most likely feel a frequent energy of anxiety and fear. The reason being is because your mind is a safety mechanism, so it has a lot of fear-based thoughts, and if you're just believing every thought that you have to be true, you're going to be feeling a lot of fear and anxiety in life.
This is well
Example 2. If you know that you have a voice in your head that isn't you, but yet you battle and fight with it, you most likely will feel a lot of resistance, shame, and guilt in life. This is where a lot of people get stuck because they raise their awareness, but they don't connect the compassion and love part, which comes next. Example 3. You know that there is a voice inside of your head. You know that it's always doing the best it can with what it has. So you start to have a relationship of compassion and listening. This is where you start to access a lot of deep healing. You most likely will begin to feel an energetic frequency of peace and calmness. Now, example 4 is the relationship of empowering listening, loving, and compassion. So when the voice comes up in your head saying you can't achieve something or you should be fearing something, you have compassion, and then you empower it to come along with you to take the action or do the thing that your soul and heart is calling you towards. This is where you tap into creator energy and expansion. It really helps to imagine the voice as a child, and you can think about logically which type of relationship would allow the child to grow, expand, and become the creator of its own reality. This will help you really start to sink into a deeper place of love and empowerment and compassion with that voice, because it really is just a little tiny you within you that is scared and doing the best it can with what it has.
A couple of years ago, I was working at a bar, and a girl came in and she was like, she doesn't know why I'm here. And I guess because of the type of bar it was, but it was in the middle of COVID. I was making a nice amount of little change. And she was like, I hate when people play small. She was like, I hate when beautiful women play small. And for me not to know her and her saying that to me, I kind of thought it was rude. But she was one of us, so I was kind of like, I'm gonna listen to the message. The message always stuck with me, and it's sticking with me more and more and more, especially as I find myself fed up with a lot of stuff in my life. Sometimes we endure stuff for way too long because we're playing small. Sometimes we're making the best out of a situation. Sometimes people will mistreat you because of where they met you or where they know you from. And when you're talented, smart,
yes,
and you have a lot of things that are going for you and a lot of quote unquote potential, it can be very insulting because you know who you are, especially when you really know who you are. But you got to take ownership of the fact that you kind of play yourself. Now, just because you feel like you don't belong in a spot, that doesn't mean that you should always leave, because sometimes there's a lesson there, there's an opportunity there, there's something there for you, and that's why you've been put there. There's a reason God has put you there. But at the same time, don't get complacent.
Don't get comfortable.
I don't always know where the line is between humble and stupid, and sometimes you invite disrespect because people think that you're dumb rather than kind, rather than humble, rather than trying to learn from a moment. They play you instead. Every once in a while, though, shake the block. Whether that's showing up with your talent, showing up with your beauty, showing up with that booty. Let them hoes know you know who you are. Okay?
Okay.
And don't stay for too long. Ask God to remove you. Let me learn the lesson, God, and elevate me. Elevate me. Take me out.
I just felt this in my spirit, and so I'm going to share it with you. I know this is for somebody. This is a season where you have to move in silence. This is not a time to be announcing to everybody what you're doing, what you're up to, the moves you are making, what God has shown you. There are some people who are literally around you, but they're only there to, first of all, look in and see how you're doing, what you're doing, so they can attempt to be you. There are also some people who are looking in just to try to run a smear campaign on you as you move forward in the things that God has called you to do. There are some people who legit cannot handle your greatness. And if they can't handle you now on the level that you are on, and trust me, there will be signs even now. If you look around, you'll begin to see some signals and cues that there's some people around you or who have access to you or can look in on your life, and they really are happy for you in the first place. There will be signs. But I'm hearing in this season, you got to be calculated. You got to be silent. You got to be methodical. You got to be strategic. And when people look around, let them just find you on your next level. You ain't got to explain to them what you're doing and how you're getting there. Move in silence. You remember in the book of Genesis, when Joseph began to share his dreams with his brothers, the Bible says that they hated him because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. Some people cannot handle the fact that you can dream and believe God for more because they're afraid to step out and trust God. They're afraid to dream. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of moving forward. They're okay with being boxed in and conformed and adjusting to what everybody else wants them to be. They want to hate on you because you're bold enough to step out and trust God. So why even bring that unnecessary negative energy into your lives when you can just move forward in silence?
Want to hear something absolutely fucking horrifying? I would have stayed at my 9-to-5 job for the rest of my fucking life, making $500 a week. Ooh, maybe I would have gotten a pay raise of like 25 cents each year per hour. But I would have stayed there forever had I not realized and started bartending weddings and realized I could make more in one fucking night than I made all week at my 9-to-5 job. That's fucking horrifying. But the truth of the matter is this. I was very fortunate because my director was like, you're going to start bartending weddings at this job. And I was like, okay, like I have no experience, like whatever the fuck that means. And I started going home with like $600-700 a fucking night. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So then I started a mobile bar fucking company. And now I charge a minimum of $1,000 per night. This year, our average contract is $2,000 per event. And we show up with very basic supplies like cups, straws, napkins, garnishes, basic folding table setup, and then they can add some add-ons if they want to, but we upcharge for them. And here's the fucking thing, you guys. I literally only have to work one fucking night per week to make more fucking money than I did at my 9-to-5 job. Like, it's horrifying to think that I would have literally been working 5 days a week for the rest of my fucking life. And now I'm able to make 6 figures per year, bartending one night a week. And I have tons of staff that goes and bartends other events as well, because we'll do up to 5 events in a fucking day. And all I want to say is if you're horrified of staying stuck in your fucking job, I have all the steps for you to literally start this business in less than 30 days and start getting events. Not even kidding. This is like the results of...
Let me pause it for a while. Sometimes you have to leap and the net will appear. Don't be scared of what's not going to happen and what's going to happen. Just believe in God and, you know, have full faith in God. Sometimes it might seem like you're doing something very crazy and you might go through, you know, a little, you know, ups and downs and some struggles, but then it's not going to kill you. It's rather going to make you tougher to be able to get what you deserve. So leap and the net will appear. Let's get back to the video.
People using my playbook, which is linked in my profile. And I don't gatekeep a single fucking thing. I was just talking to a VIP client today that works with me one-on-one to start her mobile bar. And she's like, Shelby, you don't gatekeep a single thing. And I'm like, I know. Because why would I? When you're at the top, you don't believe in competition, you believe in collaboration. True, so if you want access to all the steps to start, comment playbook or head over to the link in my profile and grab the mobile bartending playbook to get started.
You want to hear the craziest thing I've ever learned about the brain? This can honestly change your life. It's called the pain-pleasure balance. So everyone's brain has a baseline. This is how you feel if you're sitting in a room that's just dark and there's no stimulation. And what they've found is that when we do something that is pleasurable, we get stimulated with dopamine, but afterwards there's an equal response of feeling pain or feeling negative. So if you eat like a Snickers bar, you start to drop into pain, and that's when you want to eat another to counteract that. And so the same thing is true with scrolling on social media. If you just keep scrolling, you're feeling good, and then afterwards you drop into pain, and that's when you want to scroll more to counteract it. And so that's super important, but the opposite is also true, which is crazy. So if you intentionally do painful things that are hard, like a workout, or do a difficult task to completion, afterwards you feel pleasure. And so that's why people are so obsessed with like ice baths and working out, is because afterwards they feel good. So that's really good to know. But the most important part is that your baseline is going to adjust based on what you do. So if you constantly are stimulating yourself with cheap dopamine, your baseline is going to lower itself to try and balance out your brain. And that means you're gonna feel depressed if there's no stimulation. And that is why so many people feel depressed these days. But the good news is that you can get out of that by intentionally doing hard things, and then your baseline will raise itself. So this is just the coolest thing about the brain. It was from a book called Dopamine Nation. It's the pain-pleasure balance. If you wanna look into it more, or if you want the book, just comment the word link, I'll send it to you. I'm curious what you think about it. I hope you have a great day.
And we've come to the end of the video. Amazing videos. I'm trying to always expand somebody's mind, and this is the little that I can do for the internet to become a better place. So enjoy, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.